So let's go back, right? Because this is the first time that we're getting to sit down here.
Yes.
You know, I've listened to a few other podcasts trying to do my research, right?
Yes.
So you even like, let's go back to where you grew up.
Yeah.
What ends did you grow up in?
So I grew up in Scarborough for a while, and then my mom moved me and my family to Richmond Hill.
Okay.
And honestly, I didn't even know that Richmond Hill was ghetto like that. Like I was like, we lived in a co-op where it was government housing, mothers on well. Like I was like, now that I look back on it, I was like, holy fucking shit. Like there's bullshit everywhere.
Yeah.
And I thought because of where we were and what I grew up around, I didn't think that I was somewhere that was bad.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't think that way. Then she said, fuck it. She tried to move us to Durham region.
Right.
But I ran away. So I ran away and I was living in Regent Park for like my first year of being on the streets. I was in Regent Park for a while. I moved to
sorry, let me stop you for a second. What age was this where you ran away?
14.
Okay.
Yeah, like so probably 2 months into my grade 9 year, I said fuck it and I went and did my own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, for the first year I was out, I was in Regent Park, and then I moved to Eglinton West. And then I was in Scarborough I went back to Scarborough. I was in Malvern for a little while. Then I came back downtown with it. I was in Rexdale for a few years. And then I moved to Brampton in 2013. I lived in Brampton for a while. I moved to Mississauga for a year. And then in between all of this, I was going OT and staying OT. Because it's like when you're a runaway, you have to bounce around a lot, right? So I did a lot of that. So nobody could really associate me with a specific neighborhood because I was everywhere.
Yeah, you moved all over the place. Yeah.
Because every time I went somewhere, people loved me. I couldn't be associated with street politics or anything like that because I was never involved. I was always just a dancer. I was never like, you know, any problems that I had in the streets were my own personal problems.
Right.
It never involved this block or this hood or anything like that because I moved around so much, and I knew that I moved around so much that I didn't want anybody to associate me with anywhere and judge me based off of me being friends with somebody. Yeah. Because I didn't really have a clue what was going on until it got a little bit closer to home.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the only reason why like everybody's like, oh, where's she from? And I'm like, I can't really tell you because I've lived everywhere. Yeah. I've gone through experiences everywhere, and a lot of these situations molded me as who I am today. You know what I mean? So I can't really give the credit. I can just only give the credit to myself. Yeah. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I've been all over. But I started off in Scarborough.
You moved from that Scarborough times, right? With you, your mom, your dad. Did you have like brothers?
I didn't live with my dad.
Okay, so your dad wasn't in the
Yeah, my dad was from the States. So
okay.
He popped in when he could, but then he got banned from here. So he couldn't come back here after like I was in like.
What do you mean banned from here?
Like I don't know. Like to be honest, I don't even really know the details behind the story. I just remember he came here and he left and he wasn't allowed to come back.
Wow.
So I was going to like Philadelphia and visiting him.
Yeah.
And like, you know, we were doing all of that for a while, and you know.
You have brothers and sisters?
I have a lot.
Wow. So how many brothers and sisters in total?
I think there's like 11 of us.
Holy 10. Shit.
Yeah. But like my mom has me, and I have a twin sister and an older brother from her, and then like there's like 9 or 8 more that he has in the States.
Wow.
And then, or like, yeah, plus me and my sister. So like he has a few more.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's a big family. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. I was listening to the Princess Diaries podcast.
Yes.
Right? Shout out to them.
Yes, shout out to the Princess Diaries.
Yeah.
For having me. That was like my first podcast interview I ever did.
Yeah.
That was dope as fuck.
And you were mentioning in there how, you know, even in now, at 14 when you ran away, that's the first time that you stepped into the strip club.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So how did you get into the strip club as a minor?
It was easy. This is like, and it's good. I'm not trying to like
and not to,
get
like,
nobody in no trouble or nothing like that.
Or anything.
But I'm gonna speak from my experiences, and I'm gonna speak honestly. The first thing before we get into this, I walked into this interview ready to be open and honest about my experiences. I'm not speaking for anybody else.
Right.
I'm speaking for myself. The first time that I was exposed to the sex industry, I was in the 9th grade. That's how I figured this whole shit out. I went through many things as a child, but it was my choice to go and be on the streets. Like I like, it was my choice.
Right.
So anything that did happen, I was well aware of it. I wasn't, you know what I mean? You go through shit happens, but after a certain time, and I would probably say going into like grade 10, close to the end of my grade 10 year, that's when I said, okay, fuck it, like if this is what's going on, okay, cool, like you know, like whatever, but you had to learn. But yeah, it was very easy to get into the strip club. It was very easy to do anything.
Okay.
It was very easy. It would they make it seem like it's such a like,
they didn't check IDs?
No. Sometimes if you knew somebody, you could just walk in that bitch. You know what I'm saying? You could do whatever the fuck you wanted, to be honest. Like I from what I saw, I don't know what strings were being pulled behind the scenes. Not my business. All I know is when I wanted to get in, I got in.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And just to go back and backtrack a little bit before we get into the clubs and stuff like that, right? At that time when you left the house, right?
Yeah.
Why, like, did you run away because you had like a lot too many people in the house? Was it like that kind of situation?
No, it was a situation where just like, it was just toxic, you know? And like, I'm like my own person, you know? I'm very like, I do whatever the fuck I want. I don't care. Like, I'm that person.
Right.
You know? So I said, if I didn't like the situation, I could fucking leave.
Yeah.
It's very simple. Like, you don't have to, this is why I don't understand. Like, if I don't like something, everybody's gonna know. That's how I am as a person. So I didn't like the situation, so I left.
You did something about it, yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't have to be anything complicated like, oh, no, I didn't like what was going on, so I left. Period. That's end of story. We don't need to get into but that's all it was. I didn't like it, so I left.
Yeah. So now you step into the club at 14, right?
Yeah.
What was the first night like?
Yo, honestly, it was funny. Like the outfit wasn't on point. Like the outfit wasn't on point. Like nothing was on. Like it was. I was wearing like the really stay bad heels. Like it was not like. But you know.
Do you remember the outfit? Can you give us a breakdown?
Yes. Okay. So it was like this black bodysuit. Like it wasn't even anything special. It was just like this black bodysuit. Like it was just a one piece and. That was it. Like that's all I could find. Like there used to be this exotic wear store down the street from here, and it was open for years.
Okay.
So
I think
that's where I bought my first pair of shoes. The direction that you're pointing
is the other way, I think.
I think it might. So this is Young and Wellesley right here, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little further up this way. It was closer to college.
Okay.
Right? It was closer to college, but yeah, I bought my first pair of dance shoes from there. I bought all my shit from there. Yeah. But it was whack. Like but the only thing that got me is that I was confident. Like I wasn't nervous to like get on stage and like, you know, like do all of that. I was just like there, you know, like I was just there.
Yeah. So I also heard you explain in the show that, you know, because you had a dance background and stuff like that, you didn't feel shy to
no
stage.
And that was the whole like cool thing about it was that it was never like a shyness thing. It was more so me having to learn how the game works. You know what I'm saying? That's where the real lessons came in. But the whole going on stage and dancing and stuff like that shit didn't bother me at all. It didn't bother me at all. What I wanted to do from I was young was like, yo, like I want to become really good at this shit. I don't want to just be a stripper. I want to be like a professional. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm going to be a stripper, I want to be the best stripper. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, like my life went in so many random directions within these first couple of years in the industry where like I had to take lots of breaks. I went to jail lots of times.
Whoa.
I got pregnant. So like there were so many things that like happened where I couldn't even be like that anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I was going through a lot of life changes and trying to figure out who I wanted to be and like what I wanted to do, but I was getting in so much trouble that I was kind of losing it, you know?
Yeah.
So then like I had my kids, so that, you know, that calms you down a little bit or whatever. But like,
for sure.
I still was dibbling and dabbling, and I kind of just said, you know what, I'm not gonna like act like I was born to work at a regular 9 to 5 and all that bullshit. I tried it. I did. Like, I did.
Yeah.
But it's not for me. Like that's not what my story was supposed to be like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I quit my job like 5 years ago, and I've just been doing me ever since, you know?
So even like with the clubs, right? You know, one of my exes back in the day, she danced in the clubs, right?
Yeah.
And she used to argue, or not argue, she used to complain about like club fees and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
right?
People always
And
complain.
and like, you know, sometimes she wouldn't make enough money to even cover the club fees,
Oh
right?
yeah, no,
So
because you know
for
what
the
it is?
people, explain what that is.
You know what it is? People look at this shit and think it's just all glitz and glamour and, you know, like, no, bro, you take L's.
Yeah.
You take, like, some severe L's. Like, I've paid, like, thousands of dollars to travel to work.
Wow.
And I've not even made it back.
That's crazy.
Like, I've traveled places where I've gone places and I've left with $0.
Wow.
Then I come back in the next day, leave with like people don't understand. It's always gonna be like this.
It's up and down. It's like a roller coaster.
Right? It's
Yeah.
always gonna be like this. Of course, there's ways you can go about getting like regular income and stuff like that. But like when it comes to going to the club every day, yeah, it's literally like this.
What's the average club fee?
It depends on where you work.
Yeah.
It depends on
so
where you
for
work.
example, like on a Young Street or something like that, like a Zanzibar
I know.
or Grass Royal.
I don't fucking work at them places. I don't like them places. But anyway, like I don't even know how much they pay there. But I know it's not like they're not charging no cheap shit.
Yeah.
They're not charging no cheap shit.
So is it like a $50 a night, $100?
Something like that, I think.
Okay.
Something like that. Then there's clubs who charge $20. Then there's clubs who charges $40, $50, $60.
And what did that go to as far as for the club? What did the managers at the club tell you?
That is not my business. I go there and I dance and I pay my money and I go home. I don't know what the fuck they keep up with behind them door. I just go there and I mind and I get to my bag. I don't know what they do. That's their business. I've never even cared.
Yeah.
Like there's some girls who complain about that shit. I do not give a fuck. I am there to make money.
Yeah.
Straight up. And to be honest, I don't have problems with managers. So they see me and they don't see me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like that's how it works for me. Like I'm there but I'm not there.
Yeah. What's the average dressing room like? Like what's
to be
going
honest,
on,
to be
like,
honest with you,
in the dressing room?
like to be honest with you, the dressing rooms that I be in, it's not as bad as people make it seem. You know, I know there's a lot of different clubs that have different energies and different vibes.
Yeah.
The clubs that I've been in, I've seen like, yeah, there's girls who argue, there's situations that happen, but usually like it's honestly not even that bad.
Yeah.
We were in there, we're all getting ready, we're talking about what happened yesterday, or just we're like kikiing, like we're just joking around, whatever, getting ready for the night. Like it's not always you took my trick or whatever. Like it's like I know there's a lot of people that make it seem that way, but it's a lot more relaxed than people
in the
think.
movies, it seems like there's always a fight.
Yeah, like it's some toxic ass shit, and sometimes there's actual dressing rooms that are like that, but I don't be there. So
you've never seen like a dressing room brawl happen, like two
Absolutely.
girls.
I've been involved in them. Absolutely,
So
but
give me one of
it's
those.
happened.
Give me one of these brawls. Break it down for me.
Well, okay, there was a situation where a girl had owed another girl money for something. And she came into the club and she like took the girl's wallet out of her hand. And like the girl didn't even defend herself. She just was like, "Give me my wallet back." Like it was like stuff like that, like stupid shit like that. Like, you know, or you know, some girl was talking shit about some girl and her man, and then it's like a whole thing. Like, I don't know. Me, I try to stay out of the petty stuff.
The pasta.
Yeah, like, cause you know, like, I just don't care. You know, like, but when it's about principle stuff, like stealing people's money and stuff like that, like that's weak. So like, yeah, like, you know, sometimes you have to involve yourself or you weren't involved. But for me, it's just, I don't get involved in like the gossiping stuff and you said this and that said that, and I have a short temper too, so that's why I just focus on the dancing and the shaking of the ass. That's what I focus on.